So from this video, it's clear that, you know, there's this claim that's been made, this truth knowledge that's been claimed, right? That she is a witch. Well, they tried to provide evidence for that, but most of that evidence was lacking in substance. And then there were also some major flaws and deductions being made that shouldn't have been made, right? If we can build a bridge out of her, then she must be a witch because you build bridges out of wood. You know, all of these different deductions that are incorrect. And then it's also funny how, you know, supposedly this knight is the smartest one in the town. He's the big scientist, right? So everyone goes to him, and of course they all trust him because he uses fancy tools like the large scales, where he goes and uses this. And so it's akin to nowadays, where people look at scientists who, you know, are in a white lab coat and they're working with DNA, so therefore we must trust everything that they say. Well, that's not true. I mean, we need to be skeptical about truth claims. Just because someone says she is a witch does not mean she is a witch. And just because they think they have a few evidences to back it up doesn't mean that it's necessarily true. And that's what science is really about, is filtering out bad ideas and keeping the good ideas. Now, there's lots of terms that we use in science. For example, we've got these 5 terms here below: law, observation, hypothesis, fact, and theory. So what I want you to think about real quickly is, if you had to rank these, how would these be ranked, right? And sometimes you need to know what these things mean. Well, to give a little bit of help as you start to think about how each of these should be ranked, first of all, scientific theory is a broad understanding of dynamic processes in nature, right? Theories are supported by large amounts of evidence, and they come from varied sources. So the use of the word theory, as a lot of people use it, like when they wake up in the morning, they go, oh, I've got this theory that this is, you know, if I put my right pant leg on first and then my left pant leg, I'm going to have a great day. You know, or if I'm at a stoplight and I look at the stoplight really hard and squint, then it'll change to green faster. I mean, those are not the types of theories that we mean in science when we say the word theory. I like this quote that says, "In science, theories do not turn into facts through the accumulation of evidence. Rather, theories are the endpoints of science." And so you can think about a theory in this way. Observations go into making theories. Facts go into making theories. Predictions go into making theories. Tested hypotheses going into making theories. Laws go into making theories, and every other aspect, essentially, of scientific inquiry goes into making theories. So therefore, theories are the crown of science. For in them our understanding of the world is expressed. The function of theories is to explain. So in my own words, I always just say, theories are as good as it gets. So at least you now know that of those 5 terms that we had, which would be the most important, or which would be the most encompassing. Theory. So now you're going to watch this clip from The Daily Show, and of course it's kind of a fun clip because it's not a real news show, but I want you to pay attention to what the female that is being interviewed here says, because I think she thinks it's a real interview, and some of the things she says are really telling about what some people, at least Americans in this case, but even around the world, what they think about science. And pay attention to some of the things that she states. It's really quite telling.